But then rice milk, it's just like, oh, it's white. People like that it's white. Food Scientist breaks down every plant-based milk. For Wired, Rosemary Trout, that's a great name. Rosemary Trout analyzes each and every plant-based milk from household staples like almond milk and oat milk. Oak milk, I don't know if I'd like oat milk, to the lesser known hazelnut and banana milk. Explains not only where these milks are drunk, but how they're cultivated and bottled. So this might be interesting or kind of boring. I don't know. I'm more interested in like the nutrition stuff, I guess. I don't really care. I don't really care how they're made. I'm not very curious, I guess. I mean, it's pretty obvious how most of them are made, right?
First up, almond milk.
Almond milk has been around for centuries. It's first referenced in Baghdadi cookbooks as well as medieval European cookbooks in the 14th century. It's very neutral. It's slightly thinner than some of the other plant-based milks. One of the benefits of almond milk is it's high in alpha-tocopherol or vitamin E. It's also slightly lower in protein and it's lower in carbohydrates as well.
The way that was worded kind of sound like it's good that it's slightly lower in protein. I don't think that was the intention there. But yeah, so it seems she is talking about nutrition. Okay, so that's more interesting. I used to like almond milk, okay? I used to use it in cereal when I first started using plant-based milks, but every time I've tried it since, I just don't like it at all. I just like soy milk.
Most of the almonds that we consume in North America come from California. California does not have a lot of water. Almonds take up a lot of land space and they require quite a lot of water as irrigation in order for the plants to grow and proliferate. So that is an environmental impact that's very significant.
So I talked about this recently in my response to how to cook that. In terms of comparing almond milk to other milks, I mean, if you're just looking at water, sure, I don't know why you would just look at water. If you're talking about environmental impact, if you're considering all the factors, it's a lot harder to choose like the best milk. But hopefully we're not just comparing plant milks. Hopefully we're talking about cow's milk as well, in which case there is no question that almond milk is much better from an environmental standpoint than cow's milk, including when it comes to water usage.
Almond milk can separate in your coffee, and that's because when you put it in a really acidic environment like coffee, it just forms these small particles at really high heat with low acidity, which is exactly what you have when you have a cup of coffee.
I did not know that, so I guess I learned something. That's really one of the reasons I guess I started moving away from almond milk, was that I couldn't use it in coffee, and I didn't like having to have, I don't know, multiple milks in the fridge. I don't know why that's a problem, but soy milk is much better. Oat milk too, I did that for a while, Oatly brand, but it started to taste weird, almost like fishy to me. I don't know. So yeah, I'm just back to soy milk. Specifically the Silk unsweetened soy milk. That's the only one.
Oat milk is the new milk on the market. Oat milk is another super popular plant-based milk, and it's very easy to make at home. All you need are rolled oats, some very icy cold water, because the oats will start to gelatinize. It's a chemical process where the bonds between the starch molecules start to break, they open and allow water in. We don't want that with our oat milk because that's how it gets slimy.
So is that what's happening with the oat yogurt that I've tried? That was slimy. I think I've tried a couple maybe. Maybe it's just one, but yeah, it was slimy.
This is frothing somewhat, but not quite as much as if you had a commercial brand. The commercial brands are specially designed with additional emulsifiers as well as lipids that are going to really cause it to foam more like cream than we have here. So it's not the greatest foamer, but it's certainly delicious and it's full of fiber and beta-glucans.
I just love her. I don't know what it is. She's just, I don't know. I love her blazer.
Soy milk has been around for a long time. Soy milk resembles bovine milk pretty closely. It's very high in protein. It has most of the essential amino acids that we need in our diet to make the proteins that we need in our bodies, just like cow's milk does.
I mean, to be clear, it has all of the essential, just in different amounts. Just to nitpick.
If you were to look really closely at the nutritional labels, you will find that cow's milk is higher in fat. Per serving, soy milk has about 8 grams of protein in an 8-ounce serving. It's also lower in calories, and it has some really good nutritional benefits as well. It's got phytoestrogens as well as isoflavones. Soy milk is part of the 2020 to 2025 dietary guidelines for Americans. It's recommended in the dairy category, which is unique and very interesting. The reason it's there is because glass for glass or serving for serving, you're going to have very comparable amounts of protein.
And calcium and vitamin D. If it is fortified, you can certainly find soy, like the West Soy brand that is just soybeans. Trader Joe's has some as well. I like to use those for cooking because they don't have any flavoring. I find that the Silk, even the unsweetened, has flavoring, and it's not good for cooking like savory things. But certainly for something you're drinking regularly, it's good to go for the fortified ones, unless you're eating tons of specific greens to meet your calcium needs. But yeah, I love how much focus, how much attention was put on soy milk. Hell yeah. There's just no comparison. The pea milks are often good too in terms of protein and fortification and whatnot, although they taste like shit. That's not true. Isn't the Silk blend, what is it, like cashew? And I think it's got pea protein. I like that one. That one's good. But the Ripple, that bitter whatever taste, bleh. And then we get to rice milk. Talk about two ends of the spectrum in terms of plant milks. You got soy milk on one and rice milk on the other.
You can make rice milk from almost any kind of rice. Commercially, it's fortified with other nutrients like B12, vitamin D, sometimes calcium. One of the advantages of rice milk is it does have a bit of a whiter appearance, and some people really like that. Rice milk is great for people with gluten sensitivity, and that is because it has no gluten. Macadamia nuts make a fabulous milk.
That's it? We're done? What? You spent like a couple minutes on oat milk, a couple minutes on soy milk, and then rice milk is just like, it's good if you're gluten-free. Well, so is almond milk and soy milk. What? That was so weird to spend all that time talking about nutrition when it comes to soy milk and almond milk to extent as well, and environmental impact. But then rice milk, it's just like, oh, it's white. People like that it's white. I'm wondering if that's an editing issue and not a her presentation issue. I have a feeling that maybe there was a lot more that she said that was cut for time. It's a almost 14-minute video. Yeah, that was just weird. If you don't know, rice is pretty shit in terms of nutrition, in terms of the plant-based milks. It usually has like 1 gram of protein. Same for almond milk as well. Typically has very little protein. Hopefully it is fortified with calcium and D and B12 and whatnot. But yeah, in terms of nutrition, again, there's really no comparison. Soy is best. And also rice milk tastes terrible. Maybe some people like it. I don't know. Can you even find rice milk? I guess I still see the rice Dream. Like, who buys that?
Macadamia nuts make a fabulous milk. This plant-based milk tastes the most like the nut, which is extremely high in fat. In fact, it's the fattiest nut that we have on the market. So a lot of the flavor is translated into the milk because a lot of the flavor compounds are lipid soluble. Hemp.
She definitely had more to say there, right? That's just some heavy-handed editing. But I don't think I've tried macadamia nut milk. I think I've seen it in the store. It's very expensive. Again, has like no protein. So I don't know. I'm just not very interested, but I'm sure it's delicious.
Hemp milk is from a seed. It is really becoming popular because, like soy and like cow's milk, it's very high in protein. It also does not require a lot of emulsifiers or additional chemicals to give it shelf stability. So you may consider it to be slightly less processed. It's high in protein, it's high in fiber. Hemp is high in omega-3 fatty acids.
And it tastes like shit. Is it really becoming more popular? I don't see more hemp milk brands in my area. I can only think of one, Pacific Foods, and it does have calcium and D2. Again, the taste, it's been a while since I've had hemp milk, but not my favorite. Tastes like dirt. Oh, Tempt. I think I've seen that brand too. So that one has calcium, D2, B12. Worse on protein though. Only 2 grams of protein and 80 calories. I think I'll stick to the soy milk.
Coconuts are one of the plants that are very, very high in fat. Whether or not that translates into your coconut milk depends on the packaging. If you buy a can of coconut milk, it's got a lot of fat in it. When you buy coconut milk in the carton, it's going to be much thinner. It's going to be lower in fat, lower in protein, and it's going to be slightly lower in carbohydrates as well.
I mean, lower in protein, but it's not like canned coconut milk. It's like a protein powerhouse, you know?
When you make coconut milk at home, you are not adding any extra enzymes. You're not adding any polysaccharides like gellan gum or locust bean gum that you will find in the commercial versions. So this is just as pure as it gets. This homemade coconut milk has so much complex coconut flavor that you won't get from some of the refined process in the commercial world.
Kind of sounded like it was a bad thing, gellan gum and whatnot. I mean, those are like perfectly safe additives, so like who gives a shit? And again, when you're buying store-bought, often if you're getting silk or something like that, it's going to be fortified, hopefully with calcium and B12 and vitamin D, vitamin A, and lower in calories. If you're just drinking homemade coconut milk, oh my God. And the flavor, sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes that's a bad thing. I don't really want to drink coconut milk. You put it in cereal, all you taste is coconut.
Pea milk does not taste like peas, ironically. And that's because the protein is isolated from the other components in the yellow peas. So you're really just getting pure protein along with water.
I guess it doesn't taste like peas, but it tastes like something, and it's nasty. I don't know what that bitter thing is. When I've talked about it before, there are always people saying, I don't get that. I don't know what you're talking about. So maybe it's a super taster thing. Both me and partner get it, whereas our kids, they have no problem drinking Ripple. Maybe it's just us, but it's inedible to me. Kind of like the almond milk yogurts, the silk almond milk, the Kite Hill almond milk yogurts. They have this like waxy, plasticky chapstick kind of taste to them. I cannot eat them on their own, even if they're flavored. It's gross. But again, I think that's just me and maybe like a handful of other people.
Pea protein you can actually buy as a powder at the grocery store and make your own that way.
I never even thought of that. Maybe I should do that and see if I still, because I use pea protein. I mean, I put pea protein in smoothies and stuff and I have no issue. Now we're already on to cashew milk. Did she even talk about nutrition at all with pea protein? Again, I think probably she did, but it was edited out. That would be an important thing to mention, especially when she talked about nutrition with soy. The next kind of best thing would be the pea protein milks. So I don't know, weird.
Cashew milk is made with cashews. They're nice and white with isoflavones. This milk is fortified with vitamin B12 and calcium. Cashew milk contains anacardic acid, which in one study showed to reduce liver fat accumulation, which can be beneficial for type 2 diabetics. Flaxseed is
It's just so weird. Who edited this? Some of them talks about frothing and it not frothing well, or it frothing well. Some of them talks about nutrition, some of them don't. Like, what is happening? But yeah, cashew milk, you know, some are fortified, some are not. The main brand, the Silk cashew milk is, I think. So the brands that come up for me are the Elmhurst, which is just cashew, cane sugar, salt, natural flavors. So no fortification whatsoever. And then the Silk, the unsweetened, is fortified with calcium, vitamin E, vitamin A, D2. So again, depends on what you buy. And obviously if you're making it yourself, it's not going to be fortified with anything unless you fortify it. And protein, it has like no protein. The Silk is very, very low calorie because it's overwhelmingly water, just like the almond milk, right? It's got barely any almond or cashew in there. I always forget about cashew milk. I actually do really like the taste of cashew milk. But again, from a nutrition perspective, I'd rather have more protein.
Flaxseed is another plant-based milk on the market. As you can see, it's a really dark, nutrient-dense, tough little seed. Flax seeds are also really high in omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, which are essential for human metabolism. So this is really nutrient-dense milk. Flaxseed milk, though, sometimes has other types of plant-based milk added to it, and that's to give it the protein content or viscosity that you're looking for in the final product.
It's like hemp milk to me. It's got a dirty, almost fishy kind of taste. I think I've only tried the one main flax milk that's out there on the market, but Yeah, no. Quinoa milk. I don't think I've tried quinoa milk.
Quinoa is called a super grain because it's very high in protein. So this is a high protein.
It's pretty high. I mean, it's higher than other grains and other pseudo grains. I don't know if I'd say it's very high in protein. 1 cup of cooked quinoa is 222 calories and 8 grams of protein. It's okay.
That's made, again, by steeping the grain in water and then filtering it.
Wait, what? What else was she saying there? I feel like she has so much more to say. You can't make a video 30 minutes long that's just talking about how plant milks foam and their nutrition, but I would watch that video. I'm kind of interested in that. Didn't I say I wasn't curious at all about how they're made? I like Rosemary Trout, you know? I want to hear more of what she has to say. So I feel cheated.
Pistachio is the newest milk on the market. It just came to the grocery store shelves in about 2020.
That is one I don't need to try. I'm sure the protein is going to be shit, but I love pistachios. That's my favorite nut. Oh my God, I bet that's so yummy. 3 Trees Organic. Pistachio, almond extract, pink Himalayan sea salt. What? So it just tastes like almond then? Sachet away? Yeah, again, not fortified at all. $7.79 for 32 fluid ounces. Oh my Lord.
Hazelnut milk, also known as filberts. They're from a hazel tree. You don't have a really intense hazelnut flavor here, but you do get an essence of hazelnut, so it pairs really nicely with chocolate. And you might even call it a Nutella plant-based milk.
I mean, if it's flavored with chocolate, sure. I don't think I've tried hazelnut milk. I really love hazelnut now because of the fucking Brave Robot hazelnut ice cream. I was thinking it would taste really hazelnutty. I don't know if I would like that in the milk, but if it just has the essence, that might be pretty yummy. But again, it's going to have like 1 gram of protein and be really expensive, I'm sure. Potato milk. Ooh.
It's made by a company based in Europe, in Sweden, and they take potatoes in a proprietary process and cook all of the starches out so that you're left with just the potato protein. It also has a lower impact on the environment. It doesn't require quite as much water or space. It also is a nitrogen fixer, so it might not require as much fertilizer as well. I would think people find potato milk to taste a little bit earthy, kind of like the potatoes that come from the soil. However, I suspect it's more neutral in taste because it's been so highly refined, and a lot of the compounds that may impart any kind of flavor are likely removed from the potato.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'd be shocked if it has an earthy kind of potato taste. It's not like they're just blending up potatoes and here's the milk. Okay, Doug Drinks has, whoa, okay, you can't do that. I'm pregnant. I can't see things spinning right now. I will pass out. 6% potato. Okay, so it's pea protein again. So it should have some protein. No, 1.3 grams. Even if it is low in protein, that's definitely one I'll try once I can get my hands on it because it's potato milk.
Banana milk is a fruit-based milk. It's a little thicker, it's a little darker. One of the benefits of banana milk is that it's usually fortified with vitamin B12.
Why just bring that up with the banana milk? I mean, the soy milks, the almond milk, like most of the ones you find are fortified with B12.
Banana milk does not taste like bananas. All of that flavor has been removed in the processing. It has some of the thickness from the starches in the bananas, but it does not have a banana flavor.
I did not know that. Okay, so that bottle there, it's got the little koalas on it. Yeah, Mooala. I've seen that brand. Original banana milk. Oh, it looks like it's flavored with cinnamon. I mean, they've got like cinnamon sticks on it, so I assume so. Has the aroma of banana bread. It's banana and sunflower seeds. Ooh. 1 gram of protein and 60 calories. It's got some calcium, no vitamin D, and no B12. So I wonder what brand she's talking about, because clearly this is the one she has, the Mooala. They say it has a mild, approachable banana flavor. The only other shopping things that come up are Soylent banana flavor, Nesquik, Banana Wave. This one's got the whole thing. Vitamin A palmitate, vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, B2, B12, calcium. Wow. Unfortunately, 1 gram of protein. Superfood. Are we saying bananas are superfoods now? Sweet Earth, they have these meals, and on the side it's contains 5 superfoods, and they include like their mock meat as a superfood. They put brown rice as a superfood. So yeah, superfood means nothing.
Sesame is a type of seed milk, and it's really high in oil.
Did I talk about that? We tried. Oh no, is that the one I didn't even try? I smelled it and went, no. I think it was the Hope brand.
Walnut milk is delicious. It's made from walnuts, and it's pretty simple and straightforward, even commercially. It's very expensive because it's just walnuts, which are high in protein, high in essential fatty acids, also have some fiber in them, and water. So just those very pure, clean ingredients.
I'm really not liking the pure, clean ingredient comments. You're a food scientist. You, of anyone, should know that there's no problem with gel and gum and other additives. And often, you know, the fortification is actually a good thing. You know, it's often really useful to have calcium and B12 added to milks. I mean, she talked about banana milk apparently having B12 as if that's a good thing to have. So I don't know. It's kind of weird.
In conclusion, there are many variations and something for everybody out there. Whether you want to go nuts, seeds, cereals, grains, they're all delicious, they're nutrient dense, and they make a delicious...
Wait, what?
They're all delicious, they're nutrient dense.
Delicious is subjective, whatever, but nutrient dense, it depends on the milk. It depends on if it's fortified or not. I don't know, man. That's weird. Some interesting stuff there. I guess a few things I didn't know. The biggest issue obviously was the editing, but also what were her comments about stuff being pure and having less ingredients? That was really weird coming from a food scientist. Would have loved to hear more about each one. Seemed like she had more to say. I really want an extended version because I want to know more about a lot of these. Some of them barely got past the name of the milk. People want to learn, you know, we want to learn. We want to hear more about plant milks. Come on. Even still, I mean, how things have changed, right? To have just mainstream outlets talking about plant-based milks as just normal things that exist and here's how they work and yeah, choose one. It's cool. I don't know. It's just really nice, you know. It's really nice not to have every other video or outlet talking about how unhealthy the vegan options are, you know, like it was 5, 6, 7 years ago. I feel like a large percentage, if not most of the coverage now is really positive. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give the video a like. Consider subscribing. Consider hitting the bell so you can be notified when I upload. You can support the channel, patreon.com/unnaturalvegan. Thank you so much to my patrons over there who do. And I'll have a new video soon.